Bangladesh is experiencing a surge in political tension as the International Crimes Tribunal continues its trial in absentia against former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who faces charges of crimes against humanity connected to last year's deadly crackdown on student-led protests. The tribunal alleges that Hasina, a five-term leader, was the mastermind and principal architect behind the violent suppression of mass demonstrations between July 15th and August 5th, 2024, during which as many as 1,400 people were reportedly killed and thousands more wounded. The events marked the bloodiest period in Bangladesh since its 1971 War of Independence. According to prosecutors, Hasina directly ordered security forces to deploy lethal force, including firearms, drones, and helicopter support, to crush the uprising. The tribunal described the response as widespread and systematic, directed intentionally at the civilian population, and amounting to crimes against humanity through incitement, command responsibility, and failure to prevent or punish the violence. Ahead of the tribunal's formal verdict, Bangladesh witnessed renewed unrest, including at least 30 crude bomb blasts and the torching of 26 vehicles across the country. Amid the escalating crisis, Sheikh Hasina released an online video statement, sharply rejecting the tribunal's legitimacy and condemning the charges against her. She said, "The verdicts announced against me have been made by a rigged tribunal established and presided over by an unelected government with no democratic mandate. They are biased and politically motivated. In their distasteful call for the death penalty, they reveal the brazen and murderous intent of extremist figures within the interim government to remove Bangladesh's last elected prime minister and to nullify the Awami League as a political force." Hasina went on to accuse the interim administration, led by Nobel laureate Dr. Muhammad Yunus, of exploiting the trial to divert attention from its own failings. She described the Yunus-led government as chaotic, violent, and socially regressive, and claimed millions of Bangladeshis would not be misled by what she characterized as a politically engineered attempt to strip citizens of their democratic rights. In another segment of her statement, Hasina added, "For the record, I wholly deny the accusations that have been made against me in the ICT. I mourn all of the deaths that occurred in July and August of last year, on both sides of the political divide. But neither I nor other political leaders ordered the killing of protesters." She insisted that the tribunal denied her a fair trial, including the basic right to choose her own legal representation. Challenging the legitimacy of the charges, Hasina said she was prepared to defend herself before an internationally recognized court. "I am not afraid to face my accusers in a proper tribunal where the evidence can be weighed and tested fairly. That is why I have repeatedly challenged the interim government to bring these charges before the International Criminal Court in The Hague. The interim government will not accept this challenge because it knows that the ICC would acquit me." She argued that the ICC would also expose what she called the interim government's own record of human rights abuses. Hasina further defended the actions taken during last year's unrest, characterizing them as efforts to restore order rather than deliberate attacks on civilians. "We lost control of the situation, but to characterize what happened as a premeditated assault on citizens is simply to misread the facts." Despite their lurid claims, the ICT's prosecutors produced no persuasive evidence to show that I ordered the use of lethal force. The transcripts and audio files they cite are fragmentary and taken out of context. She contrasted her elected government with Yunus's interim administration, accusing the latter of suppressing protests by students, garment workers, doctors, nurses, teachers, and journalists, sometimes violently. As the tribunal prepares to issue its final and official ruling, after reports from Reuters suggested a conviction, Bangladesh enters uncharted political territory. The Awami League remains barred from next year's elections, raising concerns about potential unrest and instability. Meanwhile, Hasina remains in India under reported protection, with her son, Sajid Wazed, confirming that a death sentence was expected but insisting she is safe for now. Analysts warn that the fallout from this trial could reshape Bangladesh's political landscape for years to come, as citizens, parties, and the international community brace for what comes next.